Listen closely, because the person you were when you woke up this morning is officially standing on death row. Most people walk through life as ghost versions of themselves, half awake, half dead, reacting to a world they didn't build and accepting a paycheck for a life they didn't choose. They tell you that change is hard. They're lying. Change is instantaneous. It's the decision to change that takes people a lifetime. Today we are not here to talk about motivation. Motivation is for the weak. It's a drug that wears off by noon. We are here for reprogramming. We are here to perform a psychological exorcism on every limiting belief, every toxic voice, and every pathetic excuse that has kept you playing small in a world that belongs to the bold. If you're looking for a feel-good pep talk, exit this video now. But if you are ready to stop being a spectator in your own life, if you are ready to weaponize your mind and force reality to bend to your will, then stay. In the next few minutes, I am going to give you the exact blueprint of authority that will shift your frequency from survivor to architect. Every second you spend listening is a brick in your new palace. Every word is a hammer smashing your old prison. The door is open. Step through or stay exactly where you are and die in your comfort zone. The choice is yours. But remember, the version of you that wins is waiting on the other side of this screen. And now, let the engineering of your reality begin. Take a deep breath, leave the world behind, and prepare to plant the seeds of your new empire. Here is the first law. 1. The architect's script, rewriting your reality from the inside out. Stop thinking of writing as a hobby or a to-do list. In this reality, writing is genetic engineering for the soul. When you pick up a pen and put it to paper, you are not just making marks. You are carving out a new existence from the void. Most people live their entire lives trapped in the conditional tense. They say, "I would be happy if," or "I will be successful when." This language is a death sentence for your ambitions. Will is a hollow promise to a future that never arrives. Now is the only currency the subconscious mind accepts. If you want to change your life, you must stop wishing and start scripting. This is the scripting protocol. You write your life in the present tense, not as a fantasy, but as a finished report from the front lines of your victory. You don't write, "I want to earn 6 figures." You write, "I'm currently managing a portfolio that generates a massive surplus of wealth, and it feels absolutely natural to me." Why? Because the subconscious mind is a blind giant. It has no eyes to see the world. It only has your narrative to guide it. If you tell that giant, "I am a loser," it will move mountains to make you lose. But if you tell it, "I am a king," it will rearrange the stars to bring you a crown. Every sentence you write is a neural instruction. Describe the smell of the leather in your car, the precise weight of the watch on your wrist, the way your heart beats with a calm, predatory confidence when you walk into a boardroom. You must be so detailed that your brain begins to experience cognitive dissonance. It will look at your current small reality and say, "Wait, this doesn't match the script." And when that happens, when the mind realizes the mismatch, it will go to war to make the outside world match the inside story. You are the writer. You are the lead actor. You are the director. If you don't like the current scene, rewrite the damn script. Don't just write once and forget it. Write until your hand aches. Write until the ink becomes your blood. Write until you can no longer remember who the old you even was. This is not magic. This is total mental domination. Now, if you're wondering how to actually execute this, here is your daily combat ritual. First, you must adopt the present tense mandate. Never use the words will, hope, or try. Use I am, I have, and I experience. Your subconscious must believe the goal is already achieved. Second, apply the sensory injection. Every paragraph must contain at least 3 sensory details: the smell, the touch, the sound. If you can't feel it, you can't manifest it. Third, create a morning-night loop. Reread your script the moment you wake up and the moment before you sleep. These are the alpha wave states where the gates to your subconscious are wide open. Finally, you must use an emotional anchor. As you write, force yourself to feel the physiological response of success. If your heart isn't racing or your skin isn't tingling, you're just writing a grocery list. Put some soul into the ink. 2. The mirror battlefield, shattering the internal saboteur. Look at yourself. Really, look. Most people catch their reflection in a store window and look away because they can't stand the sight of their own potential being wasted. They see the fatigue, the compromise, the averageness that they've accepted for too long. But in this reality, the mirror is not for vanity. It is a psychological battlefield. You need to stand there, chest out, shoulders back, and lock eyes with that person in the glass until it gets uncomfortable. Why? Because your external world is a one-to-one reflection of your internal self-worth. If you feel like a fraud, the world will treat you like a fraud. If you believe you are unworthy, you will subconsciously burn every bridge to success before you even cross it. This is where you perform a visual lobotomy on your insecurities. Speak to that reflection, not with whispers, but with authority. Tell that person, the era of excuses is over. I am no longer asking for permission to exist. I am here to dominate. At first, your brain will try to laugh at you. It will say, "Who are you kidding?" Good. That's the sound of your old pathetic ego gasping for air as you strangle it. You must do this until the stranger in the mirror becomes a leader. You don't need a crowd to applaud you. You need to be able to look yourself in the eye and not blink. That is the definition of true power. And if you want to know how to turn this into a weapon you can use every single morning, here is exactly how you handle the glass. First, you must execute the retinal lock. Stand 10 inches away and hold your gaze for 2 minutes in total silence. Don't look away. Face the darkness until the light comes back. Next, issue your sovereign commands. Don't say, "I want to be confident." Say, "I command my mind to operate at a peak state today." This isn't just mirror work. It's an identity shift. Third, apply the amor fati reflection. Acknowledge your past failures in the mirror, smile at them and say, "Every scar was a lesson. I love the struggle because it forged the person I am today." Finally, establish the frequency anchor. Perform this ritual at the exact same time every morning. This builds a neural trigger that sets your internal compass for the rest of the day. You are anchoring your soul to a higher frequency before the world has a chance to drag you down. This is how you win the day before it even begins. Part 3. The Mind's Movie, Weaponizing Your Imagination. The human brain is a biological supercomputer, but it has one fatal flaw. It cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined memory and a physical reality. This is the glitch in the matrix that top-tier performers, elite athletes, and titans of industry have been using for decades. While the average person uses their imagination to rehearse failure, worry about debt, or replay past embarrassments, you are going to use yours to manufacture the future. This is not about daydreaming. Daydreaming is passive. Visualization is an aggressive, intentional act of mental architecture. When you create a minds movie, you are essentially providing your subconscious with a GPS coordinate for a life you haven't lived yet. If you don't give your mind a destination, it will default to the safe zone of your past. And the safe zone is where dreams go to rot. You need to curate your visual diet with surgical precision. Use images that represent the standard of living you demand. I'm talking about the texture of the marble in your dream home, the specific hue of the sunset over the Mediterranean, the sharp, crisp lines of the suit you'll wear when you close that 7-figure deal. But images are just the skeleton. To bring the movie to life, you must add the pulse, and that pulse is emotion. When you watch your mind's movie, you shouldn't feel hopeful. You should feel possession. This is what we call neural priming. By flooding your brain with these stimuli, you are literally rewiring your reticular activating system. Suddenly, your brain starts noticing opportunities, people, and resources that were invisible to you yesterday. It's not magic. It's a filter. You are finally telling your brain that the high-value version of you is the priority. To turn these mental flashes into a high-definition reality that sticks, you need a cinematic blueprint. First, use the sensory overlay. When gathering images for your movie, include texture prompts. If it's a luxury car, imagine the cold touch of the gear shifter. If it's a beach, feel the grit of the sand between your toes. The more senses you involve, the deeper the neural imprint. Second, utilize the voiceover method. Record yourself describing your success in a calm, authoritative tone and play this over your movie. Hearing your own voice narrate your future acts as a self-hypnosis loop that bypasses the critical conscious mind. Third, leverage the alpha-theta window. Watch your movie during the 15 minutes before sleep and the 15 minutes after waking. These are the windows where your brain is most plastic, meaning it is highly suggestible and ready to be programmed. Finally, maintain the high-definition standard. Never use low-quality or blurry images. Your mind deserves 4K resolution. If your vision is blurry, your execution will be blurry. Keep the imagery sharp, elite, and aspirational. Your imagination is either your prison or your palace. It's time to stop being a prisoner of your memories and start being the architect of your visions. 4. The Purge, environmental and social detox. The hardest truth you will ever face is this: you cannot fly with eagles if you insist on scratching with chickens. Most people fail not because they lack talent, but because they are energy leached by a social circle that is comfortable with mediocrity. In Stoicism, we talk about contagion, the idea that the habits, complaints, and low-frequency vibrations of those around you will eventually become your own. If you are surrounded by 5 people who complain about the economy, gossip about celebrities, and wait for the weekend to get drunk, you are inevitably destined to become the 6th. You need to understand that your environment is more than just the 4 walls of your room. It is the digital content you consume, the music you listen to, and the voices you allow to whisper in your ear. If you are serious about this transformation, you must become a biological border guard. You must be willing to be the villain in someone else's story so you can be the hero in your own. This means cutting ties with the anchor friends who weigh you down with their insecurities. This means unfollowing every account that triggers comparison instead of inspiration. It is better to be alone and focused than to be surrounded by distraction demons who call themselves your friends. True growth is a lonely road, and the air gets thinner as you climb. If you aren't prepared to walk alone for a while, you aren't prepared to lead. To sanitize your reality and protect your new mindset, you must implement the detox protocol immediately. First, execute the social audit. Identify the people in your life who drain your energy or mock your ambitions. You don't need to announce your departure, just quietly withdraw. Distance is your greatest defense. Second, initiate the digital purge. Scrub your social media feeds. If an account doesn't educate you, inspire you, or make you money, it's a parasite. Delete it. Third, apply the auditory shield. Stop listening to lyrics that celebrate sadness, betrayal, or victimhood. Your brain is a sponge, and sad boy music is just a slow-acting poison for your drive. Replace it with silence, binaural beats, or high-level education. Finally, practice strategic isolation. Dedicate at least 2 hours a day to total solitude. No phone, no music, no people. Just you and your thoughts. This builds the mental callus required to resist external pressure. You aren't being mean, you are being protective. Your mind is the most valuable real estate on the planet. It's time you started charging rent to anyone who wants to stay there. 5. Subconscious rewiring. The science of guided stillness. If you think meditation is just sitting still and doing nothing, you've already lost the battle. Meditation is direct access to the motherboard of your reality. While you're awake and moving through the world, your brain operates in beta waves, analytical, stressed, and constantly scanning for threats. But the changes you want, they don't happen in beta. They happen in the deep, dark waters of the subconscious. This is where your default settings are stored. If your default setting is, "I'm not enough," no amount of conscious effort will fix your life. You'll just be a person trying to run high-end software on a corrupted operating system. To fix the system, you must drop into the alpha and theta states, the bridge between the conscious and the unconscious. This is where the guided part comes in. You aren't just sitting there, you are being navigated. You are using specific frequencies and vocal cues to bypass the critical filter of your mind, the part of you that says, "This is impossible," and planting the seeds of your new life directly into the fertile soil of the back of your brain. It is a surgical strike on your old identity. To truly reprogram your mind and ensure these new beliefs stick, you must follow the deep tissue protocol. First, commit to the 30-day immersion. Neural pathways are not built in a weekend. You must listen to your chosen guided meditation or binaural frequency every single day for a month. Consistency is the only thing that breaks old habits. Second, leverage the sleep state induction. The most powerful time to reprogram is the hypnagogic state, that blurred line between being awake and falling asleep. This is when your conscious ego is at its weakest. Let the affirmations play as you drift off. Third, focus on vibrational resonance. Don't just hear the words, feel them in your chest. If the meditation talks about abundance, you must summon the physical sensation of wealth before you even see it. Your body must believe the lie until it becomes the truth. Finally, practice post-meditation stillness. When the audio ends, don't jump straight into your phone. Sit for 2 minutes in the silence you've created. This golden window is where the most profound insights and downloads occur. You are no longer just a person with a mind. You are the master of your internal frequency. If you control the vibration, you control the destination. 6. Gratitude and inspired action, the bridge between thought and matter. Most people treat gratitude like a thank you note for things they've already received. That is amateur hour. Real gratitude, the kind that moves mountains, is an anticipatory strike. It is the ability to feel the profound, bone-deep thankfulness for a victory that hasn't materialized in the physical world yet. Why? Because wanting is a frequency of lack. When you want, you are telling the universe, "I don't have this," and the universe simply agrees with you. But when you are truly grateful, you are vibrating at the frequency of possession. You are signaling that the transaction is already complete. However, do not mistake this for passive dreaming. The universe does not reward wishes, it rewards architects who build. This is where inspired action comes in. You cannot manifest a six-pack while sitting on a couch, and you cannot manifest a global empire while refusing to make the first call. The mental work opens the door, but your feet must be the ones to walk through it. You must work so hard that the universe has no choice but to give you what you've already claimed in your mind. It's about a holy alliance between your spirit and your sweat. To turn your internal vision into a physical landmark, you must operate by the execution code. First, practice preemptive gratitude. Every morning, give thanks for 3 things you don't have yet, but describe them as if they are currently sitting in your living room. This collapses the time gap between now and then. Second, identify your inspired lead. After your visualization, ask yourself, what is the one aggressive move I can make today that scares me? That fear is your compass. Follow it. Third, maintain the high standard baseline. Stop acting like the person you are and start acting like the person you are becoming. If the future you wouldn't sleep in, neither do you. If the future you wouldn't tolerate disrespect, neither do you. Change your habits to match your destination. Finally, embrace the feedback loop. When you take action and fail, don't complain. Analyze. Failure is just data. It's the universe testing your resolve to see if you actually deserve the script you wrote. You are the bridge. You are the point where the infinite meets the earth. Stop waiting for a sign and start being the signal. 7. Embracing the void, the pain of becoming. Let's be honest, this process is going to hurt. You are going to lose people. You are going to feel a profound sense of isolation as you outgrow the version of yourself that everyone else was comfortable with. This is the void. It's the in-between stage where the old life has died, but the new one hasn't fully arrived yet. Most people quit here because the silence is too loud. They run back to their old toxic habits just to feel something familiar. Do not be one of them. The discomfort you feel is the sensation of your soul expanding. It is the burning away of the dross. In Stoicism, we call this the voluntary hardship. You must welcome the loneliness, you must welcome the doubt, because they are the fires that forge the steel of your new character. You aren't losing friends, you are clearing the runway for the elites who belong in your future. If you want the life that 1% of people have, you must be willing to do what 99% of people are too terrified to even attempt. Walk alone until you find your tribe. When the weight of the transformation feels too heavy, you must lean into the sovereign rules of the transition. First, accept the law of necessary loss. Some people were only meant to be characters in your previous chapters. Don't try to force them into the sequel. Bless them, leave them, and move on. Second, practice radical self-validation. Stop looking for likes or approval from people who are still asleep. Their opinions of your new life are irrelevant because they can't even see the world you are building. Third, utilize the 30-day silence. When you are in the heat of a major shift, stop talking about it. Protect your energy. Let your results be the noise that wakes people up. Finally, develop militant patience. The seeds you planted in your scripting and your mind's movie are growing underground. Just because you don't see the leaves doesn't mean the roots aren't taking hold. Hold the line. Stay in the fire. The person you are becoming is worth the agony of the person you are killing. You are almost there. Don't you dare blink now. The law of absolute resilience, the Stoic Codex. The tactics are clear. The script is written, the mirror has been faced, but now we move beyond the how-to. We enter the realm of the internal empire. We are building a fortress around your mind that no worldly storm, no economic collapse, and no personal betrayal can ever breach. The universe is indifferent to your feelings, and that is your greatest liberation. As Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, carved into the history of human consciousness. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Stop looking for a path without obstacles. The obstacle is the path. The resistance you feel is the only evidence that you are actually moving. Every person who doubted you was a gift. Every failure that burned you was a necessary fire. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the sculptor of them. Stop looking for motivation. It is a fickle, weak friend that deserts you when the room gets cold and the shadows grow long. You do not need motivation. You need the 4 pillars of the Stoic soul: wisdom, justice, temperance, and courage. Wisdom is the ability to see the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. Justice is your duty to act with integrity even when no one is watching. Temperance is the absolute mastery over your impulses, the ability to say no to the lower self so the higher self can breathe. And courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the cold realization that something else is more important than your fear. Seneca, the man who faced his own death with unwavering calm, warned us. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. How many years of your life have you surrendered to the ghosts of what if? What if I fail? What if they laugh? What if I lose everything? Listen to the silence. The only thing you should truly fear is standing still while the clock of your life bleeds out. You are a dying man, living as if you have an eternity. You don't. You have this breath, and the next is not guaranteed. Let the words of the Titans sink into your marrow until they become your own thoughts. Epictetus, born a slave but died more free than any king, said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." If your mood shifts because of a comment on a screen, you are a slave. If your confidence shatters because of a stranger's judgment, you are a slave. You have handed the remote control of your nervous system to a passerby who doesn't even know your name. Take it back. Sovereignty is not given. It is seized. Luck, as Seneca reminded us, is merely the intersection of preparation and opportunity. You have been praying for the opportunity while neglecting the preparation. You want the crown without the weight of the helmet. The universe is waiting for you to show your work. It is waiting for you to prove that you can handle the responsibility of the life you've scripted. Marcus Aurelius whispered to his own soul in the dead of night, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Stop the announcements. Stop the coming soon posts. Stop seeking validation for things you haven't even started. Manifest your philosophy through your existence. They will call you obsessed. They will say you've changed. They will say you're cold. Smile at the diagnosis. As the Stoics knew, the mob loves the mediocre because mediocrity is safe. When you choose to leave the herd will bleat in anger to mask its own cowardice. Let them. Your solitude is not a punishment. It is your sovereign laboratory. It is where you forge the inner citadel. When the world is in chaos, you must remain a calm sea. When everyone is screaming, you are the silence that terrifies them. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Examine your thoughts right now. Are they the grey, muted tones of the masses, filled with envy, distraction, and smallness? Or are they the deep, heavy gold of the conqueror? Most of your pain is self-inflicted because you are fighting against the nature of reality. You want things to be easy when they were designed to be hard. You want people to be honest when they were born to be flawed. You want the sun to shine on your schedule. Stop fighting the wind and start setting your sails. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." Bravery is looking at the abyss of your own mortality and deciding to build a bridge anyway. You've been waiting for a sign, for a permission slip, for a right time. The only right time is when the pain of staying the same finally exceeds the fear of the unknown. Embrace the amor fati, the love of one's fate. This is the ultimate Stoic weapon. It is the ability to look at a catastrophe and say, this is exactly what I needed to become, who I am meant to be. Whether life is cold, whether it is cruel, whether it is demanding, love it. It is the raw material of your greatness. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." Let us go deeper into the silence. Let us talk about the anatomy of your inner citadel. Marcus Aurelius didn't just write for the world. He wrote for the man standing in the dark, wondering if he has the strength to continue. He spoke of a place inside you that no fire can burn and no army can conquer. This is your sovereign center. Most people are hollow. They are blown away by a single insult or a minor financial setback because they have no foundation. But you are learning to build on bedrock. Consider the concept of premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. The average person spends their life praying for sunshine, but the Stoic prepares for the hurricane. I want you to sit in the stillness and contemplate the loss of everything you hold dear. Your wealth, your reputation, even the people you love. This isn't pessimism, it is metabolic conditioning for the soul. When you realize that you can lose everything and still remain whole, still remain virtuous, you become dangerous. You become a man who cannot be blackmailed by fate. You realize that poverty is just a word to a man who is content with his mind, and exile is just a change of scenery to a man who is at home within himself. Why do you fear being alone? The mob fears solitude because they hate their own company. They are terrified of the silence because that is when the truth starts to scream. But you must embrace the vow of silence. In the ancient schools, the student was often required to remain silent for years, not as a punishment, but to learn that words are expensive. Stop leaking your energy through your mouth. Every time you tell someone your big plans, you satisfy a part of your brain that thinks you've already achieved them. You are stealing from your own future. Stop. Be the man who works in the shadows and lets the results explode in the light. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Think about those who betrayed you. Think about the people who left you when you were at your lowest. Your instinct is to strike back, to prove them wrong, to shout your success in their faces. That is the reaction of a slave. A king does not look back at the barking dogs. He continues to march toward his destiny. Your silence is their greatest torment. Your indifference is the ultimate weapon. When you no longer need their approval, you have officially won the war. Every morning you wake up, you are at war, not with the world, not with your competitors, but with the version of you that wants to stay in bed, the version of you that wants to eat the poison, the version of you that wants to scroll for hours, numbing the divine spark in your brain. To win this war, you must be a disciplined commander. Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. Discipline is not a cage. It is the key to the cage. Only the disciplined are truly free. The undisciplined are slaves to their moods, slaves to their appetites, and slaves to the opinions of others. There is a disease that kills more dreams than failure ever could, and it is called attachment. Most men are paralyzed because they are attached to their comfort, attached to their reputation, and attached to the opinions of people who are already spiritually dead. But the Stoic knows that the only thing you truly own is your will. Everything else is a loan from the universe that can be recalled at any second. As Seneca powerfully reminded us, he is a king who fears nothing, and he is a king who desires nothing. If you cannot walk away from your current life to build a better one, you are not a free man. You are a prisoner with a longer chain. It is a rough road that leads to the heights of greatness. Why do you complain when the path gets steep? Why do you cry when the stones cut your feet? You ask to be elite. You ask to be a leader of men. Did you think the universe would give you a crown on a silk pillow? No, the universe tests you with fire to see if you are gold or if you are just painted lead. Epictetus said, "The greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it." Skillful pilots gain their reputation from storms and tempests. You are in a tempest right now. Your bank account is low, your friends have vanished, and your mind is screaming for mercy. Good. This is your training ground. This is where the average man dies and the sovereign man is born. Smile at the storm. Stand on the deck of your life and dare the lightning to strike you. You will find that when you stop running, the storm loses its power over you. Consider the tyranny of the opinion. Marcus Aurelius stood at the head of the greatest empire in history, and yet he wrote to himself, "I have often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinion of others." You are dying for the applause of people you don't even like. You are compromising your destiny to fit into a circle that is destined for the grave. Break the mirror of social validation. Your only judge is the version of you that reached their full potential. If that person is proud of you, the roar of the entire world doesn't matter. Let us speak of the dread of the void. Most people run from the silence because they are afraid of what they will find there. They fill their ears with noise, their eyes with screens, and their hearts with triviality. But the Stoic seeks the silence. In the silence, you find the logos, the rational order of the universe. When you stop talking, you start hearing the truth. And the truth is this: you are far more capable than you have been led to believe. This transition requires the death of the ego. You must be willing to be nobody for as long as it takes to become somebody who matters. This is the price of admission to the inner citadel. As you move forward from this moment, remember that the world will try to pull you back. It will try to remind you of who you used to be. It will try to shame you for your ambition. But you must be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It stands unmoved, and the raging of the sea falls still around it. That is your goal: to be unmoved, to be relentless, to be a living embodiment of the will. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Simple, brutal, effective. The clock is ticking. You are closer to the end than you were when I started speaking. Does that terrify you? It should, but it should also liberate you. If you are going to die anyway, why not die having seen what you are truly capable of? Why not die having pushed the limits of your mind and body? Why not die as a king instead of a servant? It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Stop wasting it. Stop giving your precious attention to things that do not return the investment. Your mind is a temple. Stop letting people walk through it with muddy feet. Your time is a currency. Stop spending it on cheap distractions. Your life is a masterpiece. Stop letting others hold the brush. The script is written. The mirror is shattered. The movie is playing. Now, go out into the cold, unforgiving world and force it to recognize your name. not through your words, but through the undeniable weight of your character. The world is a theater. You've been an extra for too long. It's time to take the lead. Amor fati. Love your fate. Own your life. This is the moment of your rebirth. The old you is dead. The new you is here. And the world is not ready for what you are about to become. Stay dangerous. Stay stoic. Walk into the fire and come out as the flame itself. You are the master of your fate, the captain of your soul. Every breath is a choice. Every choice is a brick. Build your empire, now, not tomorrow, now. The universe is watching. Give it a show worth remembering. Remember, the sun shines even on the wicked, but the light of the soul only burns for those who have the courage to ignite it. You have the matches. You have the fuel. Burn so bright that the shadows have nowhere left to hide. This is your life. This is your time. This is your victory. Amor fati. Stay stoic. Stay relentless. Stay powerful.